Hello, Facebook and YouTube friends. This is a new episode of The Voice Within with Through Senses. Today is Wednesday, April 15, 2020. It's a new day, it's a new life, everyone. Let's always keep in mind that the voice within is our source of reflections and realization without risking one's life and without questioning an institution. Because as we come together, we always believe that there's nothing in the intellect which does not come first through senses. And that is why there is the voice within. Okay, so I would like to particularly welcome parents who are actually watching, watching right now. Some students, some colleagues out there, and the pageant enthusiasts. Please try to drop by. And if you cannot make it at this moment, then do not forget to visit my channel at YouTube after this or tomorrow. You have to, of course, subscribe or visit my YouTube. Just type The Voice Within with Through Senses. And you can also listen, watch, and learn all the topics that I've been sharing, right? Okay, so I'm happy that some of my friends, some of my colleagues are actually checking in. So welcome. This is The Voice Within with Through Senses. Okay. Today's topic is very challenging to everyone, especially to the different institutions in the society. So we'll be discussing with you, of course. Without you, the voice within is nothing. So today's topic is the exposure of our young people to social vices. Again, we will be discussing about the exposure of our young people to social vices. Exactly. And of course, as we always do in The Voice Within, we are being guided with our pattern, the dream. So I'll be giving you the definition and then some reasons and then some effects, right? And then some actions to take on. And then perhaps the last part is, of course, I'll be giving you the message. Okay, so that is how we usually substantiate some issues discussed in The Voice Within with Through Senses. Okay, so before we get started, also, I'll be giving you also some words. You have to answer some questions for me also to be enlightened, and for our Facebook and YouTube friends will also be realizing while giving some of your voice on the different questions. So the first question, again, today's topic is the exposure of our young people to social vices. Right? Okay, the first question is, why do young people have social vices? Again, the first question is, why do young people have social vices? The second question is, who should be blamed for young people's social vices? Again, the second question is, who should be blamed for young people's social vices? And the third question is, how do we prevent young people's social vices? Again, the third question is, how do we prevent young people's social vices? So these are the three questions that we will be reflecting and we'll be realizing as we go on. So this is partly a 30-minute discussion with you. So again, I am welcoming you to the new episode of The Voice Within with Through Senses. But before we get started, I have, of course, as I always do, I have some words here that will be sharing, and I'll be giving also the context, okay? The possible definition of these words and how these particular words will help us out articulate today's topic, right? Which is the social vices where our young people are exposed. So the first word is hope. Again, the first word is hope. So we all know it's been part of Dr. Rizal's philosophy, principle that the youth is the hope of the fatherland. Exactly. So when we say hope, we give what? A kind of determination for our young people to see the brighter side of the coin or of their experience. That's it. So that is why the hope is being embraced, right, in the society, right? Okay, the second word, since we would like to have hope and we are giving really hope and determination to our young people, then they deserve to be what? To be educated. So education. I guess what matters here is when we educate our young people in particular, they will be learning, no? Learning some good actions, some, shall we say, effects, no? Some bad or negative effects of what they're doing. Okay, so the second word is educate. Okay, education. And the third word, the hope and education will be nothing if our young people could not obey. So obedience, that's really what? A term that everyone must know. Obey, right? So obedience. We need to obey and we'll let our young people also realize the importance of obedience. So it's a quite, shall we say, imperative now or challenging on the part of the parents perhaps, the teachers perhaps out there, and our officials, right? To let these young people obey some rules. But ideally, we need still to emphasize the beauty of obedience. And the last word, of course, we have the hope, we have already the education, we already have obedience because we want something new. We want change. Exactly. So we need to embrace change, whatever it is. It could be social, moral, ethical, okay, changes in the community. That particular change will really will help our young people realize that their action, their decision will determine perhaps their future. Okay, so these are the four essential good words that we need to integrate in today's discussion. Okay, for a while. Now, let's start. Okay, I am also inviting you if you have some realizations, some things that you really would like to speak up or to voice out. Please help me answering also the questions, the three questions I just posted or shared. So let's start. What is really social vices? No? So again, the topic, since our topic is about the exposure of young people to social vices. So what are these social vices? So before the definition, we all know, okay, that the society, the government, perhaps the church, the school community, our society, our community, everywhere, the business industry have been challenged. Okay, have been challenged to definitely let our students realize their actions. And unfortunately, most of our young people are really exposed to these social vices. So before I'll give you the definition, of course, let's try to identify also some of the social vices where our young people are exposed to. Right? So there is what? There is substance abuse, right? There is substance abuse or drug addiction, right? There is also, especially, no, they are not dressing up properly. Okay, they are dressing up indecently. So perhaps that indecency, okay, is, shall we say, not acceptable in some aspects. Exactly. And then also the behavior of our students towards some school policies, right? During examination, during assessment and evaluation. So there are some behavior, some behavior of our students which are not really, shall we say, not good to look at and not worth emulating. Okay? And then also, this is the worst thing. Our young people are really exposed to some intimate no relationship, and worse, the issue of HIV and AIDS. Of course, you know that the cases are getting higher, and most of our young people also are, shall we say, tested positive, and most of them are not really what aggressive to get tested. Okay, so robbery is also there. Okay, so do not forget that robbery. So meaning these are just some of the social vices that our young people are exposed to. Okay, before we get into the dream, the definition, and down to the message. Okay, now um, let's have the definition of social vices. When I say social vices, according to some social scientists, right? So these are bad traits, yeah, unhealthy and negative behavior of young people, okay, which are against the morality of the society. Again, I would like to reiterate the definition according to social scientists of what social vices are. So these are the negative, bad habits, bad traits, unhealthy behavior of our young people, which are against to the morality of our society. When we say morality, because the society has set, no, has set the kind of behavior, the standard, the norms, right? The ethical standard, the way we react, the way we interact, the way we socialize ourselves, and going, deviating that, diverting some of our practices, which meaning we are becoming deviant, no? Deviant in the society, and most of our young people are exposed to. I am not saying the voice within is not really saying that it's not good, that these vices are totally detrimental, because some of the arguments of our young people will say we lived only once and once is enough, and you cannot define your life unless you have experienced all these vices, and that is how they conceptualize, no, their perspective about their life now in existence, without thinking so much about the effects, the negative effects, right, of the social vices that they have been doing for years, right? So now there are really what, so aside from it's diverting, deviating, no, the standard, the morality of our society, there are some good reasons why our, let's take to answer the three questions I posted. So the first question was, why do young people expose, right? Why do young people expose themselves to social vices? Okay, there are a lot of reasons. It's no longer debatable, according to some scientists, some psychologists, that these are really salient, reasons why do young people, okay, have social vices. The first, I'm not saying the first one, but some of the reasons, of course, is one is out of curiosity. With or without their friends, the term is curiosity. When I say curiosity, perhaps they've seen that on TV, they've seen that on social media or somewhere, magazine or wherever. The point there is out of curiosity. They are now being influenced, they are now being ignited to experience having or experiencing such kind of social vices, right? And then, of course, there is always there a peer influence, the circle of friends. Sometimes, especially the parents out there, our teachers who are also watching, and then other officials, other people watching and joining with me today. Please really try to consider, the first two, out of curiosity, with or without their friends, because of their being curious, then ideally they would like to experience, they would like to taste it, to a savor such kind of or these social vices, right? So we say social vices. I just pointed out some of these vices. There is robbery. There is substance abuse. Their behavior, right, during the assessment evaluation or in the classroom, in the school, right, and also since they are now exposed to intimate relationship. And the worst thing is most of our young people are not really determined to get tested. And most of them are, shall we say, unknowingly exposed to some cases, tested or not, cases to HIV and AIDS. Exactly. Right? So those are just some of the social vices. And some of the reasons, the first one I just mentioned, it's because of the curiosity. The second one is, I also mentioned the peer influence, the circle of friends. So our parents, also try to consider who who are the friends of your children, of your students. No, we're not saying to isolate them, to deprive them, to discriminate, right? The status, the level of a physical, intellectual level of their friends. But the point there is sometimes you need to guide, no? As I mentioned earlier, you need to educate really your students, right? Your children, especially in choosing some friends. And the worst thing also, one of the reasons why are young people, okay, why are young people exposed to social vices is because of what? Because of the broken family, the broken relationships. Okay, so meaning the family. Okay, we cannot also dictate, okay, the decision of their parents, but according to social scientists, one of the reasons why our young people have been exposed to social vices is because of broken families or broken relationships, right? So purely, no, I will just focus. The voice within will just focus on this. Shall we say three salient, reasons why do young people expose themselves to social vices? Okay, so the first one is out of curiosity. The second one is the circle of friends, their peer influence. Now, sometimes they are being compelled to do such. And then the third one is because of the broken relationships, right? Or the broken family. Okay, so before we will continue to some human actions, I've seen in here some of our Facebook and YouTube friends who would like to also speak up their voice. I would like to take this, the voice of Sir Marky. Now, good morning, Sir Marky. Thank you for always joining and helping me out, substantiating the different issues of the voice within. One of the major influencers of students' social vices is the social media. Yeah, exactly. Young minds tend to, for a while, well, yeah, young minds tend to tend to tell with what they call social norms, okay, without deciphering the positive and negative effects that it would bring to them. Basta matawag lang na cool kids, okay na sila. Yeah. So meaning, one also the one source of these social vices is because according to Sir Markey, and it's actually true, no, the curiosity, the peer pressure, the peer influence also is really because of the social media. The social media exposes a lot. Okay, as we all know, even our young people today, they're not very mindful of what they have been posting, right? Okay, thank you so much for that, Sir Marky. Let's find out if there are still some voice here to be heard. Thank you, friends, for checking in now, right? Okay, let's continue. Now, I have given you the definition on why these young people have been exposed to social vices, and then also some of the reasons, and to include social media, no, perhaps, no, exactly, no, social media. Now, what the second question was, who should be blamed, okay, for young people's exposure to social media? That's a good question. Then we need to take some actions because most of the time, no, if not only the family, also the parents, right? The social media, the church, the school community, okay, the government have been conceptualizing, advocating, drafting a lot of programs, interventions, policies, just to let our young people, yeah, our children to learn something new, to get away, to avoid all these social vices and to prepare them for a better, right, better life or better future. That's the point of all these programs and advocacies. But directly the question tells us who should be blamed. And we are not just using our fingers to point, no, to point someone. Everyone is responsible. Everyone has a connection. Everyone has a part, a vital role. We are all catalysts here for some changes, for uplifting the lives and transforming the lives of our students, mind you. If the first one is out of curiosity, If that is one of the reasons why our young people are exposed to, then what the family, what the school, what the church, what the government, what the social media, right, is doing against this curiosity of young people. Okay, that's the reason why education is there, to educate. Okay, the bad and the good sides of whatever the social vices that our young people have been doing. Right. Okay. So thank you for that for the confirmation. Thank you, Sir Marky. Our Facebook and YouTube friends are really being enlightened with that point. Okay. So everyone. So we will not be pointing out that the teachers are to be blamed, the parents, the church, the social media, the entertainment industry, the business industry, the government. Okay? Because everyone should know our moral and social responsibility, our accountability. And the challenge today is because we're still thinking, no, and we have been thinking and rethinking all these years that our hope lies to our young people, or the young people, our youth is still the hope of the fatherland. Exactly. And we cannot debate, we cannot deviate that principle, that philosophy. Okay? To be honest with you. Exactly. Right? So what are some effects? No, what are some effects before the prevention? Okay, what are some effects of the social vices to our young people? Number one is what? Exactly. Okay, what's in your mind is that is one of the effects if the social vices will not be, shall we say, if not be eradicated, will be articulated well, then the society, the young people's lives will be at risk. Number one is the changes, the behavioral problem. Exactly. Okay, if this will not be mitigated or controlled, if the intervention, okay, if the program of the society is not really effective, then the behavioral problem of our students will still there, very unstoppable. And the different institutions, particularly the school, no, perhaps will really be suffering, will still be challenged every now and then because of the behavior of our students. And I would don't like to question about some laws, some ordinance, some policies in relation to the protection, the preservation, no, uplifting also the lives, the rights of our children. But the point there is that the society has been changed with some of these social vices, right? And another possible effect of these social vices is, of course, their academic performance. Okay, if this will not be again resolved as soon as possible, then the academic performance of our students will still be at risk. Right? There are a lot of students will really go and choose, decide to drop, okay, from schooling because they cannot really endure, they cannot appreciate anymore the academic tests that they have been exposed to. Instead, they have diverted their psychological, shall we say, stages or experiences. Instead of being submissive, learning a lot inside the school, and they are what? They are deviating themselves and going to some of these practices because they have been enjoying doing it. Okay, unfortunately, right? And then, of course, one of the effects of this social vices, there are young people who will be running away from their homes, from their community, and finding someone out there, some circle of friends whom they think, okay, could really provide their present needs. Okay, another one from Sir Marky. Since young mind are since young minds are considered as tabula rasa, right? Meaning it's a blank slate, guidance with matured be established in order to eliminate the pointing out of who is to blame. Yeah. So that's Thank you for affirming, no, the contention, Sir Marky, that everyone must take part. Okay, the parents, the school community, the media, the government, everyone in the society, all the institutions, social, moral, economic institutions would really be what? Be responsible in taking part, okay? In, if not eradicating, to lessen, okay? And lessening down, going from lowering down, issues to social vices. Of course. Now, um, we've learned, some of the effects of this from Filchi. Very well researched, sir. This is a very important topic. Thank you so much, Miss Filch, no, for your compliment, I guess. No, exactly. And of course, I've been exposed to the community for quite some time, and I've learned how these young people will really behave and how they've been using their strength, no, their time, effort instead of going somewhere for the betterment. Okay, they have been going backward. When I say backward, they're exposed to these social vices. Right. So, what are some good, now some good actions? Especially, we'll be answering now the third question. How do we prevent? Right. So, how do we prevent these vices, social vices of our young people? Exactly. Everything is here. No, the words are actually here, especially I would say education. Let's inform, no, everyone, regardless of what society you belong, what institution you belong to. Let's really educate and inform our young people about the bad and negative, the effects, right, of these social vices. And let's not embrace and acculturate our young people, especially the old ones, that it's okay to be exposed with these social vices. Anyway, you are still young and you still have some room or some years, some moment for realization and for some changes. No, it's not a good contention in mind. It's not a good realization or reflection that we just let our young people experience at early as now, because they still have a lot of years, a lot of moments to change. That's a very wrong perspective. As early as now, we know how detrimental these social vices are. So let's really try to educate and inform our young people. And of course, here is obedience. We have to strengthen some, shall we say, ordinances, laws, no, of a particular city, of a particular province, or of our country in relation to these social vices. And any, right, young people who committed this, shall we say, crime or violation, and then there must always be a strong, an iron hand, okay, to really let that particular child, okay, or youth, to see the perspective of why obedience is important, right? And then also what's in here, exactly, there is a need for our the family, no, inside the family, the friends, the relatives. Okay, since there were the first individuals or people where these young people are joining or getting along with. So I'm not saying you are responsible and you are the one to be blamed, but the point here is, you were the first friends of your child, of these children. So, meaning you are the one who philosophize, okay, the principle of hope, the importance of education, the beauty of obedience, and of course, the impact of change. Okay, it boils down to the family. Okay, let us make use of the child's innocence, okay, in getting into somewhere. I would like to take this part before I'll give you the message today. I would like to voice out the message of Miss Filch, through Sir. Sir, one thing I see as a major factor is that one generation is a fatherless generation, in as much as we would like to blame the kids alone. We would like to blame the kids alone for their inclination to have these social vices. Okay? The root cause of it is all could be because they lacked the presence of a father. Any parent really who will ensure proper guidance and give the love they need, so they resort for other sources of these things and end up being surrounded by bad influence. See? Okay, so thank you for that affirming, comprehensive, substantiated, well articulated Miss Filch. I mentioned that I am not blaming the family, but of course, the family, the people inside were the first, right? Comrades, friends of these children. Thank you. And thank you for joining with me today. Of course, I'm very happy. And before I'll give the message, I would like to invite the parents out there, the pageant enthusiasts, teachers, and some young people who have been dropping by to also visit my YouTube channel. Just type The Voice Within with Through Senses, and you can also learn other issues that I've been sharing for quite some time. And this is just a few episodes. I'm not saying I'm about to end, but I only have few episodes before we will leave The Voice Within with Through Senses. Right? Okay, today's message, I got this online and I would love to share this. It goes this way. Okay? It says, we do not despise all those who have vices, but we do despise those who have no virtue. Yes. Okay, so that kind of message, though I was saying earlier that we will not acculturate our young people, okay, to think that as long as you're still young, you still have a lot of years and moments to change what you've been doing. Because it's not always our point of realization and reflection. But what I would like, okay, on my personal note, and what the voice within wants to for us to realize on, it is always a personal choice. And when we say personal choice, we are knowing what is right and we are learning what is wrong. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining with me today's topic, the exposure of young people to social vices. This is The Voice Within with Through Senses. See you on Saturday. Don't forget to subscribe on my YouTube channel. Just type The Voice Within with Through Senses. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.